Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if this is your first time coming to this channel. Really excited to do another episode. Before we dive into the next subject, I'd love to do exciting part of this channel. So I have received some comments and I would like to share with you one more time. Actually, this time there was only one comment, but this time I am truly excited to read it to you. So the comment says, "Your breakfast recipe was delicious. Thank you. Yours truly, Mr. Ketchup." Moving on, I am very excited to share with you that I was able to actually bring the first financial donor to the program, and this business is sponsoring me. So I'm very excited to run this ad for my new business partner. I'm back on the dating market, paid by KK. KK Conrad. Excuse me, please. Why are you doing this? We talked about it. You promised. You said you would not be desperate on the show. You promised. I would like to apologize to all the viewers. This is totally unacceptable, and I will do my best to make sure that this will not happen. And of course, this will happen because, like I said in previous episodes, I intend to keep this channel light, and humor is part of it. It's also part of my personality. So I bring a little humor, self-jokes here and then, even though we are dealing with important topics, heavy lifters that are really sensitive. But I choose to have a light perspective, like I had explained before. Life feels easier, and it is easier if we approach with a little humor and are able to laugh a little bit more. So I was gonna talk about something different, but I thought about it and I changed the subject of this episode, and I wanted to actually do something that I should have done in the pilot. I wanted to talk a little bit about what it means to be a man, which seems to be the theme, and it is the theme of this whole channel, because I am trying to show men's perspective, my perspective, which I believe is shared by a lot of men. But wowie, things have changed in the last 20-30 years drastically since we introduced phones to our lives. We live in a totally different world, run by different rules, by different principles. And who are we as men? What do we do? Are we still the same men? Are we different now? Do we have different principles that we apply on a daily basis? Are we different species now? There's been a lot of social changes, and I think they are affecting all of us, especially men. And I think that I'd like to give my point of view about the subject, because it's really interesting what has become the new standard for all of us. So, who is a man? It's always been that a man is a protector and provider. I think that has not changed. I think this is still the main two purposes that we serve. But as the world has changed, now we have this digital reality, this constant rush of information from the morning, to the end of the day, and possibly overnight going through our heads. I think there are so many more things that we have to add to the description. Well, I think how we describe a man changes throughout life, through different stages of who the man is. When the man is a single man, when the man is dating, when the man gets married, starts a family, has children. I think that the meaning of his role changes a little bit. The basic principles apply, but there's probably more things that have to be added to the role, because there's new demands, there's new things that we have to deal with on a daily basis. I think it's fair to say that we all know that we are all bombarded on a daily basis with endless information, constant flow of things, how we should live our life, how we should be making decisions, what is really important, what we should be getting, what we shouldn't be getting, who we should listen, which way to go. And it's constant and it's non-stop. It never stops. And it starts in the morning when we wake up and we grab that phone. No, wrong. Remember? You don't get that phone in your hand when you wake up. Especially when you are married. You start looking at each other and just maybe exchanging a smile, kiss, hug. You don't have that phone in the bedroom. But anyway, once you wake up and you welcome the day and you move on, that rush of reality is just knocking on your door, right there. Wherever you turn, there's so much. What do we do as men with all that? I think we shouldn't really allow all of this get into us, and we shouldn't really try to keep up with all of this, because a lot of it's actually noise. This is noise created by social media generation that makes a lot of money out of us being busy with the screen time, making certain decisions about purchasing this, that, and constantly getting involved. I don't think it's necessary, a lot of it. It's impossible to be on the top of everything. But if you try, most likely you will just increase your anxiety. You will increase the disconnect from your family. You will disconnect from yourself, because it's impossible to be on the top of all of it. So what do we do as men? What do we really focus on these days that there's so much of everything? Like I said, I think there are different stages. But the most important thing is we have to be true and honest with ourselves and we have to be honest with everyone around us. That is the cornerstone that defines a man. If you wake up being this guy and then go to work, put different hat on, come back home and maybe there's another hat, and go out with friends, you switch to another hat, that's not gonna work. I mean, maybe in certain work, professional situations, it kind of forces you to be like that, unfortunately. So maybe this is required if you are, especially in some kind of marketing, sales field. Unfortunately, maybe that's why it is not something that everyone can go into. But it is really important to stay true to yourself, especially when you are with your close ones and your family. So what else do we focus on? I think that this world is testing our description of our take. What do we value? What are moral values? What we should believe? And what's more important? I think the role of a man is to really make sure that you know the values, you know your values, and you stick to them. And especially when you start a family, you carry them through. And the hope is that you picked good values, the real values that are important. We hope that those values are not influenced by temporary trend or something that started somewhere on the internet and it keeps tracking because certain ways, certain people would like you to believe that this is the new norm, this is something that, this is the new moral value, this is the new thing that is necessary. Well, maybe pause, maybe think about it, take the time. If it's drastically different from what you were growing up in, maybe this is different with what you used to believe in. Maybe it requires really deeper thinking and challenging it. What else do we add to the description of a man? Who is a man? I think when you are a father of the family, when you have children, you have to be a teacher. You have to engage in showing, presenting the world to your children, especially if you know things, if you know how to fix, if you know how to make things better or make something out of nothing. That is the coolest thing that you can show to your kids. Instead of having them Google everything, which is helpful sometimes, but be the guy who takes the time and does those things live for them, teaches them. Especially when you have a son and you know how to fix something in a house, fix on the car. Wow, that's impressive. I know that kids, and especially teenagers, they are not really excited. Well, you know, I've been there myself with my son. But don't give up. Keep engaging. Keep inviting them. What about activities? I think that's another role. You know, if you are into sports, I mean, if you watch sports, do you play the sports? Well, if you sit and, I don't know, bet on the teams or talk about teams with your friends, do you take your kids to the field and play those sports? You should. Show them that not only you know those sports, but you engage in those sports with your family, with your kids. Pass it on. Well, I know that a lot of men are kind of busy because they have work. So I've been there many times. I've been lucky to have a flexible work schedule. So I've been to many practices with my kids, and I've seen a lot of times where mothers show up for many of those activities. I'm not saying that work is not important, but if this is happening year after year and you are missing out on that connection with your children all the time, and perhaps sometimes there's a situation you don't need that extra time at work, you don't need those extra hours, you don't need that extra business. Maybe you're missing out on a huge boat of making that real bond with your son, with your daughter. They are looking out for you. They are watching if you're there, and they're so happy when they see you. Go to the practice if you can, and then come to the game. Don't let mom be the soccer mom, and the driving mom, and the planning mom. Be the cool dad. Find the time. I know it's not easy, especially when they become teenagers, because they don't really want to hang out, but yeah, keep pushing. Don't give up. They give you a hard time, take it. It's part of life. Deal with it. And what else is important? I think I have to go back to the initial two important roles when I said provider and protector. Protection has changed. Now in this cell phone generation, the protection is also knowing not only where the kids are, but knowing what they are doing, who they are meeting. Because we live in the times where 10-year-olds are watching, are exposed into adult stuff, things that are mind-blowing. So if we don't get involved, if we're not on top of it, who's protecting them? I think that's something that actually fits perfectly the description of protector. And also, I think the biggest role that combines all of it, that for men these days, this is like being the captain of a ship, because life is like sailing through an ocean. There's smooth sailing, there's storms, rough weather, there's periods of boring time where you're stuck in the middle of nowhere, lack of direction. But that's part of life. That is normal, but you have to be that captain. You can't lose the sight of the direction. I know it's hard, but that's our role. And how do we do that? Well, I mean, we have to live a healthy lifestyle. We can't commit everything to just work. We have to take breaks. We have to do something for our mind, for our body. Gym, sports, healthy food. It's always great. yeah, but there's this, hours at work, this additional work, this, yeah. I've been very vocal about this. I understand there are some situations where you don't have a choice. You have to, because you are maybe the only provider, or you have many kids and life is expensive. I get it. But in many cases, maybe adjusting the lifestyle a little bit, maybe sacrificing on certain financial goals in order to spend more quality time and engaging more with your family, with your growing kids. I don't think it's a bad trade-off. I think it's a fair one. And maybe a better one, actually. And now, to switch a little bit and talk about how I feel about the partnership between man and woman, husband and wife. It's not easy to do all of those things because it's a lot. It is a lot, and things sometimes don't work, sometimes unexpected happen. But if you have your husband who's the father, and he's really trying, he's really engaging, he's really doing, notice that, honor that. Tell him sometimes that you're proud of him for doing this. I mean, we don't need medals on our chest every single day. We don't need recognition. No, we're not asking for that. But once in a while, it's nice to be appreciated. I mean, women like to get compliments about the dress, hair, about things that they've done. Yeah. Well, notice the men too. It's healthy. Once in a while, especially if he can come home, fix something, and take the kids to do something. That's awesome. Amazing. There's another topic that I would like to bring up, subject of the social media and how it affects all of us. But there, especially what I'm trying to get to is how social changes have shifted, and now women have become more and more attracted to be active on social media, watching a lot of things that affect them. What I have personally noticed is that women have become really sensitive to all the new trends, all the things that have been constantly coming out of the social media. There's certain things like, when you have a birthday party, how you should do it, because when you have girlfriends, they do it this way. There's certain things you have to provide, so many things to buy, this and that, and what happens is you get too involved with following and chasing certain things that are provided outside, made sort of new standard that you have to chase because you need to be part of that group that that keeps up with new reality. But the truth is, like, that 1-year-old, 5-year-old doesn't need all of that. So when you put so much stress, effort, and all that, and your husband is overwhelmed, understand why. Your child doesn't need that. Your child would rather look at you and see you both standing there, hugging, kissing, and spending more time than just running around and trying to impress everyone. I think we've gone too far with certain things in society, and there's more of that has changed the dynamic between the role of man and woman, husband and wife, because social media is drastically tapping into our life any way they can and trying to tell us what we should do because someone is monetizing on it one way or another, and we fall for it. But that's why we should sometimes pause and look at the big picture. Do we have that good man who's trying and he's sometimes fed up? Maybe there is a reason he's not involved. Maybe he doesn't want to keep up with all of that. Maybe he knows it's not necessary. Maybe he has a point. So, yeah, in conclusion, I think it's not easy to be a man these days. It's a lot of work. We need a lot of outlet to get the strength, but that's our role. Especially when we decide to have a family and children, because we have to lead by the example. And it's not easy. We're gonna be tested every single day. But that's our role, our new role. It's a lot, but I think if we make healthy choices and our partners are on the same page and see the same values, I think it becomes easier. Thank you so much for tuning in, and see you on the next episode.